Hey YouTube, this is Ian, and today I'm going to show you about casting. Casting is basically turning one variable into another data type. So let's say we have a long named L, and its value was 1000, and an int A, which value was 500. So what if we wanted to do A plus L and store it as an int? Int AL equals A plus L. Wait, we have an error. Why is that? Because this is a long over here. Oh yeah, we need to put an L. Since this is a long, we need to do something called casting. NetBeans handles it for us like that. But that's really not the best way to do it. The best way is to just cast the long itself into an integer. And we do that by putting the word int in parentheses right before the thing we want to cast. So A plus the integer value of L, which is 1000, should equal 1500. Let's see if that's true. And it works. 1500. So that's casting. If you made this a long and you added A plus L, you don't need to cast A to a long because ints fit into longs because ints are smaller than longs. See. Think about it like buckets would be a good analogy. If you had a small bucket and a large bucket, you need to put the contents of a large bucket into a small bucket. Then you need to pour the small bucket's contents into the other small bucket. It kind of makes sense. It probably doesn't. But if you have a large bucket, you can just pour the small bucket's contents into the larger bucket without having to transfer the contents to a large bucket first. So you don't need to cast ints to longs. You don't need to cast bytes to shorts, but you need to cast something like a long to a byte. You need to cast doubles to floats, but you don't need to cast floats to doubles. Also, floats and integers and all those other integer types, they all work together. You don't need to. You need to cast floats and doubles to integer types, but you don't need to cast integer types into floats because they're all numbers. You can't cast booleans to numbers because that doesn't make any sense. Same with characters to numbers, it just doesn't make any sense. So that's casting, basically. Thanks for watching. If you like my video, subscribe.